I'm here with Sydney Hendrix from the West Bloomfield Lakers girls basketball team, looking to answer the 2021 championship season where the team went 25-1, including 25 straight wins to lead themselves to a state championship, the first in West Bloomfield girls basketball history. Sydney, coming back into this season, a lot of the same players coming back, 4 starters returning to the team this year, but what's the difference between starting out this year with a championship in your belt already versus last year fighting for that championship, knowing that you were a team that could contend in the state?
It's definitely a difference. You can feel the energy shift because last year it was like we were working towards building something we never had, and this year we're trying to maintain that same thing and going even further than what we've expected last year. So it's definitely a lot more on our shoulders, but we're all ready for it. We all prepared for it, but it's definitely a different feel. It's like we definitely have to keep up what we already have, and that I feel like keeping up with something that could be lost and trying to build something that you don't have yet is a completely different thing.
Yeah, another thing in there is maintaining that chemistry too. As you bring new players in, some of those other players that had graduated and moved on, that were in leadership roles, aren't there, and their dynamic, their role on the team now is being replaced by someone else or a combination of different players. So how do you adjust to that and get the new players that come into the team of a championship season acclimated and ready to play championship level ball from the jump?
Well, for us, I feel like our chemistry this year is actually, I think, better than last year because we got to see how well we played together last year. We got to see that and then build on from it. We were talking in the offseason, we figured it out. So when the new season came, I felt like we were already more together. Even from coming from that state championship, I think it brought us closer together. And for the people that are just now coming on, most of our newcomers were actually JV players that came up as freshmen last year. So a lot of the new sophomores that came onto the team have already had a lot of exposure to the way we play. So it's been a pretty good adjustment. We have one new freshman, but even her, she's been around the program for years before she even came to varsity. So she's been working with us. So I feel like it was a pretty nice transition, especially compared to last year's transition of getting a new coach.
Yeah, it's a highly competitive Division II and Division I in the MHSAA for girls basketball, and competition is also coming in your season from outside of the MHSAA as well. So you expand and into tougher competition. How does that help you and as an individual player, but also your team, prepare themselves for another tough run to the championship game in East Lansing?
I think playing against people from different states, especially of the caliber that we're playing, so we're playing the #1 team in Indiana, and I think we're all extremely excited and ready because honestly, once you're already at the top, it feels like you are always playing down a little bit. So I want to go up against somebody to see how much we really compete with other people besides just Michigan. So I feel like it just will challenge us really well, and it will get us our season going because it's only our second game that we're playing an out-of-state team, and we get to play a team from Illinois a little bit down the season. But I think it's a great way to start off our season to see how we stack up and what we can improve on against a great team.
Early in the season, what are some of the things that you're looking forward to your team kind of testing itself on based on your practices up to this point, and really improving on to be at that point where you can win a championship and play that level of ball very early in the season?
I would say what we're trying to attack on, as a program, we want to obviously be in better shape because in the offseason I feel like we did lose a little bit of conditioning. So it was definitely a shock a little bit. So we're working towards that more. Obviously we want to always grow our chemistry, and then we want to keep improving on our defense and talking on defense because we want to start playing full court man-to-man defense. Last year, our coach felt like we fouled a lot, and we were a little too physical. So we have to learn how to move our feet more and just stay in front of the defender because last year we ran into a lot of foul problems. So we had key players taken out the game because of fouls. So that's a big thing this year.
The Lakers last year, 25-1 overall, MHSAA Division I state champions, and a team that was able to take a lot of their competition, really run them off the floor. Average margin of victory was about 30 points in those 25 wins last season for the Lakers. Sydney, you're in your senior season, heading to Florida A&M University next fall to begin your career in girls basketball there. What are some of your goals in your final season on a personal level here at West Bloomfield?
I would say my main goals are to really end the season off feeling like I did it with my team. I know you say individually, but I don't want to think of my individual self because at the end of the day, this is really a family here. I want to see all of us do great, but I want our last year here to feel like we played the most together, because I feel like in past years we played together, but not to the extent that I've always hoped for, because I've always loved seeing teams like my favorite team is the Golden State Warriors. I like seeing people move the ball and take great shots. So I want to just see us move fluently within each other and make each other look great. I want my teammates to make me look great. I want to make them look great. And I want to just up my percentage in like rebounds. I care more about that type of stuff. I want to see me get into the best shape possible going into college and just carrying that momentum into my college career.
Sydney, anything else for us before we say goodbye on this one?
I just want to say that everybody should come to our games and support because we're doing it better than anybody else in Michigan, and we all work for it, so it's well given.
Lakers already have their season underway, and hopefully it goes similar to last year, and they'll be playing through mid to late March as well. Sydney Hendrix with me here at West Bloomfield High School for the girls basketball season, looking to defend that MHSAA Division I state championship, their first in school history.